All right, ladies and gentlemen, welcome into the first official live stream. So I do plan on doing the live streams Monday, Wednesday, and Friday for 1 hour every single day. Now, obviously, at some point in time, if anything does change, I'll keep you guys posted. But for the most part, I do want to do at least 3 live streams per week. And I do think that this is just going to be pretty good for, number one, keeping you guys up to date on the market, but also engaging with all of you as well, because I do appreciate every single one of you for, being a watcher of the channel, for being a supporter of the channel as well, because, without you guys, this channel would be nothing. So I do think that 3 live streams per week is great for overall engagement. It's great for keeping you guys up to date on everything, and also just kind of going over what's happening around the market. So with that being said, let me just make sure everything is all good with the stream, and then I will go over a few things and really kind of just address what's happening with the market. All right, so everything looks to be pretty good. I will switch over to the scene 1 second. All right. So it's been a crazy time in crypto. Obviously, I'm sure that you guys are pretty excited for what's happening around the entire market. XRP did hit a little bit over $3 today. It's having a nice little pullback with Bitcoin. XLM has been like one of the biggest movers across the utility crypto, stage, which we love to see. But overall, it's just been a very exciting time for altcoin holders, which is exactly what we wanted to see anyways in July. It's something that I was talking about for weeks on end, and I'm happy to finally see it get realized in. I just want to say welcome in Eddie. We have first time watching live. Welcome in. Dean G, welcome in as well. Georgia Bowers 3, yo, let's go. It's GB, welcome in, man. Green Money, what's going on? Do you think it's better to use XRP like a store of value like Bitcoin, or are you selling at the cycle's end? I think taking profits is crucial no matter what altcoin you're holding, especially on the way up. So taking profits is not a bad thing at all. And you also keep a moon bag on the sidelines as always. Hey, Nick, how's it going, Dean? Mike Jones, welcome in. Nothing much, man. It's the first live stream, so that's pretty much what's up right now, as well as crypto. Green Money, I had a dream Bitcoin at 154K this year. Yeah, I do think that 150K will be targeted on Bitcoin. I've talked about it in terms of the top. I would say, I don't want to say the full top for Bitcoin. I think that the top for Bitcoin will be somewhere between 150 to 170K. Welcome in, Erich, Lester, what's going on? Gaggles, well, never seen you live. Yeah, just like I said in the beginning of this live stream, I plan on going lives every single Monday, Wednesday, and Friday. So that's like the main schedule for me. I'm going to try to commit to it. It is a little bit challenging throughout the week, depending on if, things are going on, or, maybe I'm kind of running behind schedule a little bit on like YouTube content or even on Discord content, but I'll definitely keep you guys up to date. Main goal here is 3 times a week to go live though. The third side of a coin, welcome in. The Frostman, welcome in. Google Eyes, welcome in. KKX, welcome in. Ahmed, welcome in. Joe, Marco, welcome in, everyone. So, yeah, let's go over what happened the last week in crypto. This is actually from Franklin Templeton. So we love to see this. Here we have the cumulative performance of the top 5 tokens by market cap: Bitcoin, BNB, Ethereum, Solana, and XRP. So XRP outperforming everything in the top 5. XRP has been outperforming almost everything on the yearly in terms of like the top 100, unless it's like a new fresh launch. Bitcoin price action. Bitcoin delivered a strong performance last week, surging to fresh all-time highs above 119K, reflecting continued institutional momentum and macro tailwinds. Altcoin rally. Major altcoins followed suit, with Solana, SUI, and Ethereum posting notable gains. Ethereum notably reclaimed the $3,000 level, signaling renewed investor confidence across layer 1 ecosystems. Pump Fund, they did their ICO. I'm not really too involved on the Pump Fund ICO thing. I know that there was a lot of scrutinization around Pump Fund for quite some time, which it's, I saw some stuff, let's just say that and it did leave a bad taste in my mouth regarding, pump fund. But outside of that, Solana ETF developments. The SEC last week urged spot Solana ETF issuers refile their applications by the end of July. A move widely interpreted as a signal that accelerated approval could be on the table ahead of the October review cycle. And then, of course, we do have Crypto Week in Washington with the Clarity Act, the Anti-CBDC Surveillance State Act, and the Genius Act as well, potentially shaping the regulatory landscape for digital assets in the US. So there's been a lot of great stuff happening already in the last week. I do think that everyone right now that's, holding altcoins, regardless of if your altcoin is pumping or not, I want you guys to realize that everything is going to wake up once Bitcoin dominance actually loses like 60%. So I saw a comment here from Big Picture. QNT still disappointing though. Just for reference, with like QNT or any altcoin that's been pretty boring even on this recent move, we are still very early on the altcoin side of the space. Like, just for reference, if we go over here to CoinMarketCap and we look at Bitcoin and Ethereum, okay, this is what the all-time chart looks like for Bitcoin. Meanwhile, this is what the all-time chart looks like for Ethereum. Do you see the difference here? So Bitcoin already cleared all of the highs going all the way back to 2021. We're trading at all-time highs. We're, surging to 120K plus. But Ethereum is still hovering around $3,000. This is under the 2021 highs. Altcoins, including even Ethereum, still have yet to catch up to Bitcoin, which should be very exciting for all of us. Because when we think about what's going on here, we still have quite some time for altcoins to really show up. So if an altcoin that you are holding is boring, maybe it's not doing much, just be a little bit more patient. I know a lot of people hate me saying, oh, you got to be patient, but this is like a crucial time to really be patient on altcoins. But outside of that, with the entire market, this is what the last 1 day looks like, the weekly, the monthly, and even the yearly. And like I said, on the yearly, we should really be focused on the yearly chart, because this shows us how far we have come with, a lot of these altcoins. Like XRP is up 463% on the 1 year, SUI up 379%, HBAR 224%, QNT is still up 50+%. So it's not like, doing nothing, but, it's definitely not 460+% like XRP. XLM 330%, XDC 150, Algo 83%. So, some very solid gains across the board. We love to see that. Welcome in Laser, welcome in Elite Dark, Lotus, Richard, HBAR Future. We have Timothy in here, Operation XRP. Welcome in everyone. We also got a huge $20 super chat from George Bowers III. I would suggest everyone join the premium Discord. Thanks, Nick, for all the great info and guidance. My pockets will definitely appreciate it after this cycle. Hey, I appreciate the $20. And yeah, I also appreciate the vote of confidence behind the premium side of the Discord. Yeah, I've been, really trying to get a lot more people on board with the Discord. I actually want to hire a few people that are full-time traders to also provide, insights every single day. And going forward, I'm also going to be extremely involved actually with the Discord, probably a little bit more than on X and things like that. That's where I'm going to be pushing a lot more updates. But yeah, there's the premium section definitely is GOAT in my opinion, and I appreciate the $20. Thoughts on XCN? I haven't really looked too much into it, Heath, but I heard about it here and there, but I just haven't really been focused on a few projects. I've been really mainly watching, like the main projects that I've been watching are like the crucial pieces for like the XRP ledger. So like Axelar is a solid project that I still think has tremendous upside potential. Outside of like Axelar, I've been also looking at DeFi projects like Curve. C-Pool's been pretty good as well. Then there's like a few really risky low caps and like micro cap projects, like for an example, MBD. Also M87. So that's like mainly what I've been watching at this point. I'm also stacked on a lot of my bags, and I don't really plan on adding too much more to my portfolio. Welcome in, John. Welcome in, Dylan as well. How do you think about Flare? I mean, I do. The thing about The main thing about Flare is that I just don't like the tokenomics behind Flare, and I also don't like how things have gone with Flare. I've been a follower of Flare since going all the way back to 2020, and I'm just not impressed with what's been happening around Flare. I'll have to see, if something else comes out around Flare. I think if you hold XRP, it's not a bad project to have in the portfolio. I'm just not extremely bullish on it like we were back in, 2020 into 2021. Genuine question, do you ever look at the insiders and what they are saying? For example, Mr. Pools, I am 50-50 on them. See, a lot of these insiders, like, you got to question if they actually are just insiders or they're just, shill accounts. A lot of them, I don't really put a lot of weight behind their name. Don't forget Griffin. Yeah, I'm also in Griffin. It's a solid AI Solana play. I think that once Solana really kind of wakes up, I think that Griffin will do very, very good as well. And yeah, Cookie is also another one that we've been following since back in like 2024. I'm waiting for coins to do some serious pumping. Yeah, we're still very early on the altcoin side of the market, so we still have quite some time here. What's up, bro? Welcome in, Brayden. I remember blowing up bricks with M80s in the middle of the suburbs all summer, and no one called the cops. Yeah, 80s. John, welcome in. GR, have you seen anything new on Casper? Yeah, they just added DeFi yield to Casper. I still think that Casper is one of those projects that almost everyone has now kind of just given up any sign of hope on, which is what we want to see towards like the beginning of Altseason anyways, because most of those projects do bounce in a huge way. I don't think that Casper is going to hit like $10 or anything like that, but I definitely think that it could hit 50 cents to $1 this cycle. And who knows, it could do, crazy moves just like ADA back in like 2021. So I haven't flipped on Casper yet. I think that the new team has been, absolutely killing the game. So I'm definitely focused on Casper this cycle still. Welcome in, Mola. So yeah, I mean, outside of this, I want to do that. I really want to focus on Bitcoin, right? Because somebody did mention here that Jim Cramer kind of flipped bullish, and he was talking a little bit more about, Bitcoin and stuff. And he said that there's going to be a drop in the market. The main thing about Bitcoin currently, so let's actually switch this over to the daily real quick. This is what the daily chart looks like for Bitcoin. We hit my 120.3K target, and this is where a lot of resistance will be on Bitcoin. So everyone is getting very, very bullish right now, which is to be expected when the market looks the way it is. But fear and greed is at 70. I said it in a video from midnight, actually. And the main thing that I did say was that I would like to see a little bit of, a pullback here on Bitcoin to cool things off before we continue higher. Any pullback from this point on, I'm going to tell you guys right now, will most likely be shallow and short-lived. Unless we lose 112K, this pullback will be quick, it will be easy, and we'll be back to 120K plus very quick after. But the main thing that I'm looking at is this demand zone down here. It's also a fair value gap around 112K to 115 point roughly 3K. We tap that, we hit liquidity, and then we continue higher. We retest 120.3K before we, drop a little bit, test the demand zone, and then continue higher. That's what I'm expecting with Bitcoin. So I do agree with the idea that, the market is getting pretty bullish. We could cool off a bit before we continue higher. It would be expected. It would also be healthy price action. Jamie said, what's going on with Quant? Not much price action. Again, I just talked about it. Altcoins are still heating up. We're still very early. Right now is not the time to be concerned about if an altcoin isn't moving or anything like that, because we still have a lot of time. I mean, Bitcoin dominance is still at 64+%. So, we're still early on the altcoin side of the market. So if you're feeling a little bit hopeless about your altcoin, maybe it's not doing much, just be a little bit more patient. I'm telling you guys. And especially with QNT, QNT's chart looks extremely bullish still. A lot of people will say that it doesn't. But when we look at the all-time chart on QNT, this entire, sideways price action, this is all consolidation. So the longer that we consolidate, the higher that we actually go. So you as a QNT holder should actually be hoping that this kind of just continues on while you accumulate as much QNT as possible before that big breakout to the upside. Welcome in, Mike. Yo, thoughts on what percentage to sell and how to keep profits now or save for passive income? I don't want to be that guy to like gatekeep or anything like that, but the premium side of the Discord does involve, exit plans that are catered to specific altcoins, including even XRP, QNT, anything. and it does have the percentages to, you know, take profits as well at those price levels. Honestly, it's solely up to you on what percentage you want it to sell. I would always just say keep a moon bag on the sidelines just in case. Ionix, I hope that I'm saying that name correctly. Beam versus ICP, what are your thoughts? Feel like they are solid late cycle opportunities once some of the big majors pump. I think ICP is way more bullish than Beam. Beam is more like gaming, you know, related. So I think ICP has a lot more to offer than Beam. Welcome in, Profit Maxi. How's it going? Grok prediction for XRP end of the year is around $8. I think that we go a little bit higher. I think that we could hit $10+. We also have Dylan here. Is 5,000 XRP enough to make someone a millionaire within the next 5 years? I mean, listen, if they're predicting tokenized assets on chain to hit like $16 trillion by 2030, then I think that, you know, a lot of these altcoins, including even XRP, are set for some very significant price action. I'm not too sure if, you know, 5,000 will be millionaire status, but, you know, it's definitely something to, I mean, listen, 5 years, within 5 years, you could definitely accumulate a lot more XRP than 5,000 if you're, you know, just adding some here and there and DCing on the dips. So I would say, you know, 5,000 will net you some solid gains, but always look to accumulate as much as possible before the volatile, you know, run up during the cycles. But I think this will probably be the last major 4-year cycle that's tied to speculation and hype and Bitcoin. I think after this, we'll probably see utility reign supreme going forward. How are you feeling about Crypto Week, Nick? I'm definitely looking forward to seeing some big updates around Genius and Clarity. I know that Genius is most likely going to be signed into law by the end of the summer. Clarity probably by the end of September. So I'm feeling pretty good about it. It's a nice change of scenery compared to like what we've been dealing with going back to like 2024 and prior. So feeling pretty good about it. 10% on the way up. Griffin projection, Nick. I'm mainly looking with Griffin. I'm just mainly looking for like about $1, and it could go much higher. $3 is not, you know, out of reach for Griffin, considering the fact that, you know, it's such a small cap project. What up, Nick Rocks? Hey, welcome in. Welcome in, E9er, Profit Multi-Millionaire, Tanner. Price prediction for Axel. I'm mainly looking for $3 on Axel. I think $3 is easily achievable. Biggest bag is XDC, and he guesses how much. I would say, considering how cheap XDC is, I'm just gonna throw out 200,000. We're just starting, in my opinion. Yeah, we definitely are just starting. Blessings, thoughts on Dovu? I think Dovu is great for the Hedera ecosystem for sure. ChatGPT and Grok both analyzed many videos, articles, and more concluded XRP is projected or is project Agora at 75% and said price range of 1,000 to 10,000 makes sense and would be necessary to transfer millions. Yeah, but we're very early on a lot of that stuff. We got to see what happens over the next couple of years. I mean, things are definitely accelerating though, which is very good to see. Hey Nick, thoughts on Matic and Algo? I think Algo and Matic are both pretty solid projects. Matic, I would say Matic's hype kind of died down quite a bit since 2021. So I feel like there's definitely better projects out there, but Algo is definitely great. Welcome in, Saucy. Because utility should take over for XRP, should charts be thrown out of the window? I think that we focus too much on charts, you know, sometimes. I think what we really should do is just take a step back and see how quick the market has changed over the last like 12 months. And this is only going to accelerate more and more. So, you know, sometimes the charts get taken too seriously. Sometimes all we have to think about is just how fast tech gets adopted and how fast it grows. So, you know, I do think that over time, we'll kind of just completely avoid even talking about price action or looking at price action because we will no longer have to. Nick, I have a question. I could really find the answer to anywhere. Maybe I missed it somewhere, but gonna ask, XRP goes super high. Whatever the number is, 100, 1,000, 10, how does it stay? Well, utilization at scale will keep assets at a stable price and keep it from going down. And it's all network effects. It's the same reason why Bitcoin is as high as it is today, and why Bitcoin, you know, even though Bitcoin does lose a massive percentage in the bear market, it's all tied to liquidity, but the network effects keep it going up. Telcoin is good as well, Sam. Greetings from Germany. Welcome in. What do you think about the plan of remaining tariffs refinanced by locked liquidity coming from Nostro accounts when payments are going to chain or going on chain? I mean, with the tariffs, I don't think that it's going to affect the market at all. I think that the market's going to be fine with the tariffs. Outside of that, in terms of Nostro accounts, I don't think that it will even need to be utilized anymore after stablecoins are adopted at scale the way that they are starting to really kind of become, crucial pieces of the global financial system. They already became 1.1% of the M2 supply. So with stablecoins being adopted the way they are, all you really need is a neutral bridge currency to bridge all of the fiat stablecoins, and all of a sudden you no longer need a reserve currency. So Nostro accounts are no longer needed. You like ZBCN? I've heard about it. I haven't really looked too much into it. Look at that turbo. How much for XDC again? I do think that XDC is going to be trading around like roughly 75 cents to $1. Could go higher, but that's what I'm really kind of looking at. We have $10 from Cripple Juicebox. Love the channel, man. You're the only crypto analyst I watch. Do you think after we get a rate cut, we will see a $10 plus XRP? Well, number one, thank you for the $10. I appreciate it greatly. In terms of rate cuts, the thing about rate cuts is that it opens up the market for mass liquidity to flow in. So it will surge stocks, it will surge crypto, it will surge even real estate higher. But the main thing about it is that it's very challenging to predict just how high things run off of it. Rate cuts are very bullish for more money to be borrowed because everyone wants lower interest rates on the money that they are borrowing, which that opens up the door for that, which means more liquidity, which means higher markets. With XRP, I would say, if we get a rate cut, it would start the wave 5 surge. So wherever XRP is going to go in that wave 5 surge, that's where we really kind of hit. Could it hit $10? 100%. We just don't know how high it goes. But let me check out a few other comments here. Do you think Jerome Powell will step down and get removed in the near future? And how do you think that will affect the market? I think he probably will get replaced. Definitely in 2026, he'll get replaced. We don't know what's going to happen with Jerome Powell, but it would be bullish for the market depending on who we actually get in. Native staking on the XRP ledger would be great. Yeah, I think that we will soon get that as well. Don't sell your bags. Put them in your trust or checkbook LLC for your self-directed 401k and Roth IRA and borrow against them as borrowed funds. Don't pay taxes. Yeah, I agree with you. I'm just not... I can't give advice on that because, number one, I'm not an accountant or even a licensed financial advisor. XDC price prediction, I just went over that. Okay, Nick, please give me some insight on Track and potential price targets this cycle. I think Track is very bullish. It's probably one of the most bullish AI plays in this space because it has legitimate use case value tied to it. I think that Track can hit $5 to $10 easily. XSP, it's a DEX on XDC. It's not a bad project. I just don't know how high it could go and how successful it will be, considering that the DeFi side of XDC has been pretty boring so far, but I do think that that's starting to wake up. So I don't know if the market opportunity is there yet for XSP. It might take a little bit more time, but it's definitely a risk, but the reward could be, fairly high. Are you still predicting $4 to $5 for Algo? Yeah, I think that it's easily achievable for Algo, considering the market cap. It would be like $40 to $50 billion. Hey, Nick, thanks for having us here. What is your prediction on Quant? I think QNT could hit, $3,000 to $5,000 this cycle. Long term, I think that it hits 10K plus. Hey, Nick, hit that like button, friends. Hey, Nick, what is your take on XCN? I've already answered the question on XCN. I don't know too much about it, so I can't say for certain or talk too much about it. You could definitely switch over to stables, but you're still going to have to pay taxes on it. Love my Ward 7. XLM is bullish. I like XLM. Just haven't looked into ZBCN. I've been hearing about it quite a bit, especially in the Discord from a few individuals. I from New Zealand. Welcome in, Natasha. Las Vegas. Is it good to hold my HBAR on Hashpack? Yeah, it's not bad. It's a hot wallet. It's not a cold storage wallet, but it's still a little bit more It's safer than an exchange. That's for sure. Telcoin overlooked. Yes, Telcoin is extremely overlooked. Nick, you're the best in the industry. Could you please do a video on ZBCN? They have bullish news, but very few content creators speaking on it. Utility America. I'll definitely have to look into it a little bit more. I'll have to do a lot more research on it, but possibly. Hi, Nick. What about Dot? I'm not too bullish on Polkadot all that much. I'm just gonna be honest with you. We got a $2 super chat from All Is One, and it looks as though this is an HTS token that's getting shilled. But I appreciate the $2. I mean, $2 for a token to be shilled is crazy, but I do appreciate it for sure. I haven't looked into a lot of the HTS tokens, but I do know that some of them are getting very, very bullish. Which coin do you think has the most price potential from my point of view? It's hard to say. There's so many great projects this cycle. I'm really just taking it one step at a time, but I do think that HBAR is definitely up there for sure. There's a lot of great projects out there. But the main one that I'm really kind of looking at this cycle is HBAR. Stronghold. I know that I've asked about Stronghold before, and you said you don't like their distribution. What do you think about now that they've locked up 60 billion? Yeah, that definitely changes things quite a bit. A lot of people are comparing it to XRP. I just don't know if it has that same XRP aura from like 2017. But I'm definitely watching it closely to see what it can achieve. We also got another $5 super chat from Lost Liberty. What are your thoughts on Paul Nooner announcing 50 MNOs running nodes on the Telcoin network by the end of the year? I think that's extremely bullish. Like I said, I think a lot of people are overlooking what Telcoin is doing and what they're building. It's something that I keep telling everyone about. Like when we think about Telcoin right now, it's at fractions of a penny. The full supply is already fully out there, and they're working with the GSMA already to bank everyone through their mobile phone. I really think that Telcoin is probably one of the most bullish projects this cycle as well, right next to HBAR. In fact, I think that it has more ROI than HBAR, simply because of the market cap perspective. Let me see. There was a few other questions here. Thank you for answering. What's your price prediction on best alt by the end of 2025? I love the channel, by the way. Well, it's hard to say because the thing is like I don't have like a best altcoin list. Like I don't have a list of like what altcoins are the absolute best. So it's hard to answer that. What cold wallet do you recommend? It's either DCENT or Ledger. I think DCENT has been, a lot better than Ledger at this point. So definitely check out DCENT if you haven't already. They're pretty solid. And you could also utilize my link as well. I do have a link on the channel where you can get a discount. Let me check out. Thoughts on sell at this point in the cycle? Still bullish? Yes, I'm still bullish with Selframe, especially with the quantum, technology really kind of becoming more and more significant. How would HBAR help with quantum computers up its price? Well, again, quantum is still some time out. That's the main problem here. Like we still have some time on quantum technology really kind of catching up, but it is still a threat and it's still something that we need to be aware of. So, I think the main thing is that, HBAR having that quantum resistant tech tied to it, enterprises and institutional players will want to utilize Hedera because of that quantum resistant tech. Any thoughts on Mantra? We were very bullish up until the incident. And, a lot of the Discord members did make money on Mantra, but, it still has over $100 million in TVL tied to it in terms of tokenized RWAs, but I just don't have the confidence that I had at one point with Ohm anymore. This dude is my main source for crypto info. He knows his stuff and does his research. Hey, I appreciate that, Gash Hunter. Axie Infinity, again, it's a gaming project with retail, coming back to the space. Axie will most likely do pretty good. Best channel ever. Hey, I appreciate that. How would HBAR help? We read that one. My goal is 50,000 HBAR. Hold those or sell near the end of the cycle. 50,000 is a great goal to have. What's your top prediction for HBAR, Nick? I think anywhere between like $1.50 to $2.50 is safe. I really do. With everything happening around Hedera, I think that that's, very achievable. With institutions buying Bitcoin, do you think it'll lose dominance enough for altcoins to run? Yeah, 100%. I still believe so. This is what Bitcoin dominance looks like right now on the 3-day. It is losing the trend, which we want to see happen. We still need to see those volatile candles to the downside. Give it like 1 or 2 weeks just so that we have more price data to go off of, and then we can have a little bit more of a clearer view. I already went over the cold storage wallet. How would HBAR help with? Read that one. Hi, Nick. Thanks for your great insights as always. I appreciate it, Natasha. Just wondering what your take is regarding Velo. So Velo is, again, kind of mixed in that category of like projects that have very rough tokenomics. I think that the tokenomics on Velo are very significant. And I think that there's just better opportunities out there. But I do think that it will be, a pretty good opportunity this cycle. So far, it has been pretty good. And a lot of XRP holders love it, especially a lot of the XRP crowd goes kind of crazy over Velo, Stronghold, and even ZBCM. But I do think that Velo will do good. I just don't like the tokenomics all that much. We also got another $5 super chat from Crippled Juicebox. As far as price movement for the cycle, what do you think will perform the best, XRP, XLM, or HBAR? Well, the thing is that I feel like HBAR is still extremely undervalued. I think that the upside potential on HBAR, considering the supply, right? Because the supply is almost fully out there, the ecosystem is maturing, stablecoins, tokenization, AI, all of that is booming on Hedera. I think that HBAR will perform in terms of ROI better than XRP and XLM. But so far, if we look at the 1 year, XRP is outperforming both HBAR and XLM at this current point. We'll have to circle back on that one though. Where can you buy Telcoin? If you actually go over to CoinMarketCap and you just go to the search tab and you look up a project, all you have to do is click the markets tab and it'll provide a list of all the exchanges that you could buy Telcoin at. XRP dumped again. It's not so much XRP that's dumping, it's just a pullback on Bitcoin. So, Bitcoin had a nice little pullback, which caused, altcoins to have a little bit of a pullback as well. Where can I buy Telcoin from? Already answered that. I have the Ledger Stacks and I love it. Yeah, Ledger is not too bad. Love your work and your presentation style. You've inspired me to start a channel myself. Keep it up. Hey, I appreciate that. And good luck with the channel. JB Crypto Coinbase wallet offers it. Paper wallet, no dump. XRP is not dumping. Thumbs up, folks. How would HBAR help? We already read that one. Thanks, Nick. No problem, Jackal. Welcome in. Corbin, welcome in. I have 10 ISO 20022 coins. I've been putting $25 a week into each for the last 7 months. Hey, that's a solid investment strat. I always say, like, if you're not going to sit or watching the charts every single day and you don't care about short-term price action, just lock in like a daily average or a weekly average that you're going to toss into a few altcoins and just hold. Spoken a bit about Telcoin. I would love your thoughts on where this might end up price-wise by the end of the cycle. I think we hit 10 cents fairly easily. Could go much higher. But I would like to just see the retest of the all-time highs from 2021, especially considering the fact that the supply did inflate quite a bit. HBAR is $1 trillion project. I agree. How high can XRP go, and do you think it will crash after the bull cycle? Yeah, 100%. I don't think that this cycle is any different. I still think that we have quite some time until utility really is the price driver. But in terms of how high do I think that it can go, my initial targets is $7 to $10. After that, 10 to or 12 to 15 is a safe bet. And then if we really go extreme bull, like $20 to $30 is achievable for XRP. And I know that sounds crazy, but so did, $150 to $200,000 on Bitcoin, a couple years ago. Where's the best place to put your HBAR to make gains, such as on SushiSwap? Well, you answered the question. SushiSwap is a great DEX to, park some, HBAR to earn some money on HBAR. Worth getting into algo? I think so. I think algo is still pretty bullish. In your hashpack wallet, and what do you think is going to happen in the near future? I think adoption is just going to continue to surge. Tokenization is going to heat up more and more. We're going to see more asset classes moving on chain. Stablecoins are going to become a much larger piece of the global M2 supply. I think institutional players and enterprise players are going to increasingly adopt DLT. I also think that banks will most likely start to hold a lot more crypto and offer crypto services for their clients. I think that this entire space is becoming more legitimized. And, in the near future, I think all of that will lead to higher price action for sure. What's your opinion on Stronghold? Already answered that. What's up? What's up, Corbin? Thoughts on CTF? I think that that is a scam project. I know that it's being shilled by a lot of prominent engagement farming accounts that do not have the best reputation, and I think that they are getting paid to shill the token, so I just avoid that token altogether. Are we expecting a small pump in this live? I mean, listen, when we think about Bitcoin right now, it's really kind of just under resistance. So I do think that a lot of these charts are probably going to be pretty boring right now until we get over that resistance zone. Been watching your videos for 6 months. Thanks for all you do. Hey, I appreciate that, Kirk. I'm happy with my 11,200 XRP. That's a very solid amount, but just for reference for anyone in here, do not let anyone know how much you are holding. I'm just going to tell you guys that right now. Just added like security, reasonings. Do not let anyone know how much you are holding. Nick, price prediction for Telcoin, conservative, moderate, and bullish. Conservative would just be retesting the all-time highs. Like I think like 4 to 6 cents is pretty solid for a conservative. Moderate, 10 to 20 cents. Bullish, 25 to 50 cents. I invested, so that one already got removed. BSL, hi Nick, longtime listener. Appreciate all your daily work, bud. Nice to see you live. Hey, welcome in. Best way to reduce taxes on crypto, make an LLC. Again, I know that there's a lot of great accountants around this space that you could probably reach out to. I would not be the best person to ask about reducing taxes on crypto, if I'm being honest. But an LLC could definitely help in certain aspects. Hello, just got in here. How does the Fed implementing ISO 20022 affect XRP? It doesn't affect it at all right now. But what ISO 20022 does allow is for the markets to really kind of open up to new technologies. So that will allow the Fed to actually implement new technologies. And we are just still kind of early on ISO 20022 still. But towards the end of this year, we'll probably see a lot more news regarding ISO 20022 adoption and the effects of it as well. Yeah, Axler is a solid buy in my opinion. I think that it's crucial for the XRP Ledger EVM sidechain, and I think that's going to actually help XDC in a big way. SPX is like a meme coin, basically. Great crypto show. Hey, I appreciate that, Andrew. Welcome in, Steven. XRP holders will be rich. Thanks for the motivation through your videos and channel. Much appreciate it. Hey, I appreciate that, Burberry. Thoughts on price action of XRP short term, please and thank you. Well, right now we're just, we just tapped the red zone. If we're going to see Bitcoin retest the demand zone that I mentioned previously, we'll probably see, we'll actually look at the daily, we'll probably see a retest of the highs. And what I mean by the highs is the highs from this year so far. This is like where a lot of that resistance is, like around 264.5. So I wouldn't mind seeing just a revisit of this, hold it as support, and then break to the upside. That's what I would be looking at with XRP in the near short term. Right now, we're just kind of fighting resistance on a lot of altcoin charts at the higher time frame level. And that's because Bitcoin is also fighting resistance currently at about 120.3K. Let me see. There's a few other ones here as well. built on the XRP ledger. Likelihood of HBAR going to the top 10. I think it's a high probability. Good looking now, brother. No problem, man. Isn't XRP's liquidity technically infinite? No. XRP has significant liquidity for sure in terms of like on-demand liquidity. The thing about XRP with liquidity itself is that the adoption around the XRPL, the TVL that's on the XRPL as well, and just the value of the underlying asset with any project, like with Bitcoin, for an example, the higher the price Bitcoin is, the better it is for liquidity. The same goes for XRP. So like XRP doesn't have infinite liquidity, just like anything in the space doesn't. I mean, nothing has infinite liquidity itself, but the higher that the value of an asset is, the more that you can actually borrow against it or use it for certain things, for like buying and selling products, whatever the case may be. So that's why David Schwartz even said, like, the higher the value of XRP, the larger the markets you could actually target. So it's not infinite, but it is much more liquid than most altcoins in the space and most assets. Have you heard of Elkai? I don't know if I'm saying that correctly, but no, I have not heard of that at all. But the fact that it has AI at the end of the name definitely will raise a red flag. Any thoughts on Crow? It's an exchange token. I don't think that it's extremely bullish, but I do know that Trump has a deal with them, which is why he is pushing it, especially even around like ETFs for Truth Social. I'm still very bullish on Casper. I still hold my Casper. I still think that the new team behind it, the management team, they're doing a pretty good job as well. So I'm still pretty bullish on Casper. I'm not too bullish on World Liberty Finance. I really don't care to hold it. I think that there is better opportunities out there, especially around utility-based ones. Do you think that SHIB could be used as a useful way for some financial ecosystem in the future? Again, meme coins, I don't really think that right now we should be focused on, meme coins fully. I think that there's just better ROI from the utility side and lower risk. HBAR and XDC, you could park them on cold storage devices like DCENT or Ledger, or even in hot wallets. It's totally up to you. I think cold storage is always the plan. That's where everyone should, be, pushing their altcoins into, or anything that you're going to be holding for this cycle. Cold storage is always the answer. So many people tell people about their holdings and wealth. Stockmo just came out and announced he is a crypto millionaire. Why tell others about your wealth? Yeah, there's no reason to. It's actually a big issue in crypto as well. I also didn't realize you actually talk like this. You talk super fluid. Thanks for the insight. Hey, I appreciate that. A lot of people say that the way that I talk is wrong, or I make mistakes or something like that, but I do appreciate that. I remember early last year, Nick did a video predicting HBAR at $4 to $6 a cycle. Then you revised it, but I think at this point you were right the first time. The thing about the $4 to $6, that was when the supply was extremely small. Now that we saw an inflow of the supply, it changes the prices that we could achieve because of how high the market cap would be. That's why it got revised. HBAR XLM hit the all-time high first. XLM is very close to it. It really just depends on how fast XLM can get over this red zone here. Once we can clear this, the all-time high could be tapped pretty quick. HBAR still has a little bit of time to go to its all-time high. It depends on how high XRP goes, Israel, because with support, typically altcoins lose 90% of their value in a bear market. And the bear market is really just aligned with the liquidity cycle. So for an example, if we hit like $10, 90% would be us back to like $1. I'm late, but just came back home. Welcome home, AI. Wormhole. I'm not too bullish on Wormhole. I mean, it is a crucial piece to the EVM sidechain as well. They're, working with the EVM sidechain, but I'm more bullish on Axelar for sure. Do you go live every single day? I do not go live every single day, but I do want to start going live Monday, Wednesday, and Friday for at least an hour. Like this one, we're coming up on almost 50 minutes, which is crazy because it doesn't feel like I've been streaming for 50 minutes, but you know, every single one of those days I want to do a live stream for at least 1 hour. Hey Nick, been a minute since you've done a live event. Thank you for all you do. Been using Coinbase Advanced. I'm tired of the high fees. Is there an exchange you would recommend? I have a VPN. MEXC is pretty solid. I use MEXC for a lot of things in the space. I really appreciate your channel. Thank you for what you do. Hey, I appreciate you, HBAR Dono. Hit the like button for Nick. I appreciate that, Mako. Is the FedNow live? FedNow service is live. They're just testing it. It's not like fully integrated or anything like that. And it's domestic right now currently as well. Thank you, Nick. You are awesome. Your content is always refreshing and educational. I really find a lot of value in them, and I really appreciate all that you do for the crypto community. Thank you. Hey, I appreciate that, man. I just want to quickly say thank you to everyone that stopped by this live today. It really does mean a lot. And the support has been great as well. So thank you, everyone. Let me see. I really want to catch up on all of these chats, but they're just scrolling by. Remember, you criticized all Discord members every time you did portfolio reviews about holding 80% XRP and that your price target was $2 to $5 and that the bull run would be done by the election. So the main thing about the portfolio reviews is that I said anything over like 25 to like 35% is not worth the risk on, you know, pretty much any altcoin. Obviously, you know, anyone could go against that. In terms of the price target was never $2 to $5. The price target was always 5 to 7, 10 to 15, and then if we're going extreme bull, it was 10 to 20, or sorry, 20 to 30. I mean, and also in terms of like the bull run over by the election, that was back in probably like the middle of 2024, and the main thought process on that was if we were going to have Altseason by the end of the summer. We never got that, which switched up the time frame on when altcoins actually went parabolic. We did, though, have the local top happen in January, which, you know, if we really kind of go back to around like the end of the summer of 2024, the main thought process was that we didn't get any price action on altcoins, so we should start to see a run up soon. We also got the bottom officially recorded on Bitcoin back in August of 2024. We had the higher high and the higher lows, which meant that we were going higher in the near short term. The fall time fell in line with that. Bitcoin broke out. The election happened. Altcoins surged, which led to the local top. And now, considering the fact that Bitcoin's overall structure flipped bullish again, we're kind of going into the same area, and we never actually got Bitcoin dominance breaking down either back in 2024 either. So, you know, that was the main thing that we were looking at, was Bitcoin dominance. Let me see. Sorry, I asked a question more than once. Had my internet connection stop. It's all good. Bonzo Finance is currently working on liquidity vaults for HBAR, but not ready yet. Yeah, I'm definitely focused on what Bonzo Finance is doing as well. Metal and XPR network have been going hard. My ex-wife's husband finally bought crypto. That's funny. Why don't you ever talk about Stronghold? Again, I just, you know, we just went over Stronghold just recently. Is ROUSD going to be the new dollar? I think just stablecoins are going to be more included to back, you know, fiat currencies. So ROUSD is definitely there next to USDC, but they are just digital dollar equivalents. There's always going to be the actual dollar itself, which backs these stablecoins. It's hard to question what goes on with it because, you know, we're still early on the stablecoin boom. I think we'll have a lot more information to go off of in the coming years, especially once we do have stablecoin regulations. But I do think that stablecoins are the beginning of the entire financial system going fully digital. Let me see. Thoughts on White scandal or not? I think White Rock is a scam. I never really looked at it, but I've heard horror stories about people that have, you know, held it. And also some things about the founders of the project and the way that the project was, managed and things like that. So I really kind of just avoided it. Would you think holding 50,000 HBAR or XRP, which is better? Honestly, 25,000 of both to have 50K would be the move. Nick, should I cash out my XRP like around $8 or wait for the $15 area? Taking profits on the way up is not a bad idea. That way you can keep the moon bag and you don't have to really worry and stress yourself out at all. What about Picoin? I haven't really looked into it too much. I've been following you for some time. You're on point. Hey, I appreciate that, Julian. Why do you feel like the market is slowing? It is just consolidation. Where do you see it going over the next month? Much higher. I think that we go much higher over the next month for sure. And depending on what the Fed does next with the rate cut decision, that could also, be more fuel for us to go significantly higher. Do you plan on rolling from large caps into small/micro caps when the time comes? I actually have a mix of all, like high cap, mid caps, and even micro caps. Nick, you never show your face in your videos. Still love your videos. Yeah, Aaron. The main thing about that is a lot of people have asked me regarding it. If I will ever show my face. The thing is that it's not about like integrity for me or anything like that on why I don't show my face. It's more about security. I don't think people realize what's been going on with like crypto influencers, but they are tracked, they are hunted, and a lot of them are actually murdered. It's crazy to see, but if you look it up, just over the last like 2 years or 3 years, there's been probably at least like 10 that have gotten hunted and murdered. So the main thing about it on why I don't show my face is simply out of security. Messiah, thanks for the $2, man. I appreciate it, dude, for sure. Let me see. There's a few other ones here as well. I've been told that Mexi doesn't always provide liquidity on a cash out. I've never had issues with them. I mean, I think every exchange always has something, wrong with it. Some people always have an issue here and there, and then all of a sudden it becomes a big problem. But I haven't had any issue. I hear that comment a lot. Explain to me the danger in announcing how many coins that you hold. Again, it's just security. Just like I said, I mean, if you announce that you are a millionaire, some people can, try to get information out of you or get information on you. It's just all based on security. Why do you feel like the market is slowing? I already read that one. I already read that one too. I heard of Real Vision today that the tariffs may help because of the value of the other currencies dropping. Crypto may be a flight of safety, though. It definitely could be. I mean, I completely agree. Are you sure you're not just AI? Yeah. I've had a few people actually say that I was AI, but the way that I talk, I feel like kind of, I feel like it should prove to you that I'm not AI. Let me see. Hi, Nick. Big fan of your videos. Question, what are the coins for tokenization? On rwa.xyz, if you click the networks tab, it will actually give you a breakdown of the most successful tokenization projects. I know Aptos recently just had a surge in tokenization RWAs. XLM has been pretty good as well. Ondo is a very solid play as well. There's a lot of great opportunities out there. Of course, Hedera is up there too, and even XRP. Thank you, Nick. You're one of the real ones. Hey, I appreciate that, Jason. What's up, XRP fam? Welcome in, Kraken. Do you have any thoughts on Pi? I already answered that one. Can you quickly explain ROUSD? It's just a stablecoin. That's the best way that I can describe it. All right, so I don't think that I'm going to be able to get to all of these comments here, but the main thing that I want to kind of go over here towards the end of this live is that I will be doing a live stream 3 times a week, or at least trying to, Monday, Wednesday, and Friday. If anything does change, I mean, maybe Monday, Tuesday, and Wednesday as well. We'll just kind of see, what really kind of works. But so far, I feel like this one will definitely work out. In terms of the actual market itself, altcoins are starting to break out. They're starting to hit the, higher time frame resistance levels. This is at a time where Bitcoin dominance does look as though it's starting to weaken a bit. Ethereum is starting to actually kind of wake up a bit more, which is exactly what we want to see. But overall, things are looking very, very good here for the altcoin market. Also, Lucas, with the 20, I believe that's Danish krones, expect price end of crypto week. I think that we have the initial sell-off to kind of get through. I think that we probably see that nice little pullback, and it won't be, that long to get through. And just for reference, for anyone that's kind of new here, this is what I'm talking about. We have that nice little retest of the demand zone on Bitcoin. We continue to back to the 120.3K level, which is resistance. We sell back off into like the midline, and then we have that push back to, 130K plus. But I appreciate the 20, Lucas. All right, ladies and gentlemen, I am coming up on the 1 hour mark. So just for reference, we're going to be doing 3 of these per week. Every single one will be an hour long each. And we got another $5 super chat as I was going over that from Tom41. I caught a 50x XRP long at $2.27. I'd love to keep it open for a long time. It's a lot for me. How would you play it? So again, with anything with leverage, you're better off just taking the profits and parking it into spot positions. That way you don't have to stress about it too much. But I mean, ultimately, it just depends on where your liquidation levels are. Anything can happen in the market. I would close out the long if we lose 112K on Bitcoin. That's my thought process on that. But yeah, overall, guys, we're coming up on 58 minutes, so I am going to be wrapping up the live stream here in a moment. I just want to take a quick second to say thank you to everyone that stopped by the live stream today. It's always fun to do these, like I said, which is why I want to do, 3 per week. And, I just want to say thank you to everyone. Thank you for all the support. This channel would be nothing without you guys. I'm very excited to be on this journey with all of you as well, because, again, I do think that the markets are going to continue to heat up, and I think altcoins are the next ones in line to really start to see that upward swing. And I just appreciate every single one of you. I mean, we hit 200,000 plus subs this year, which was last year. And we're now closing in on like 212K. So it's just been a crazy journey. I can't thank you guys enough. You guys are the backbone for this entire channel. And I can't thank you guys enough, especially for all the super chats. The super chats are always great. You guys stopping in, watching the lives, watching the videos as well. That goes a long way. You guys don't even need to donate to the channel. Just watching the channel, providing your time, and providing the support for the channel is more than enough. So I just want to say thank you guys. I appreciate all of you. Not to get, too cringy with it. It just, I really do love and appreciate all of you out there for, staying with me, staying on the path with this channel as well. It's always a great time to, just engage with you guys, which is why I want to do more lives anyways. Just engage with you guys, give you guys some updates on the market. And yeah, I love doing the lives. But with that being said, thank you for everyone that stopped by. I hope that you guys enjoyed the live session. I know that we didn't go over too much information. It was more so, me going over the chat, but as we get more price action, we'll definitely be doing a lot more live streams, and I'm sure that we'll catch some of those significant price action moves to the upside. But thank you guys for watching. If you guys did enjoy this live, and if you guys did enjoy the video, the VOD, definitely hit that like, subscribe, turn notifications on. If you guys want more free content, you guys are more than welcome to follow me on Twitter and join the free Discord in the description below. And with that being said, guys, Nick, thanks for watching.